Hello, dear viewers. After so many days of waiting, the decisive moment has finally arrived. Tuna, a strong single mother, has given her answer to Alex's unexpected heartfelt proposal. But the question is, after all the care, the thoughtful gestures, and the warmth Alex has shown her, has Tuna truly felt his sincere heart? Does she have the courage to open up, to take that important step forward in life with Alex? Her answer, yes or no, won't just decide their happiness. It could completely change the course of this challenging love story. Will Alex, after all his patience, finally hear the yes he longs for? Or will he face a heartbreaking truth? Stay tuned to see how this emotional love story unfolds. And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the touching and unexpected moments in Alex and Tuna's journey. As the soft morning sunlight filtered through the living room windows, Alex sat alone at his desk. In his hand was a checklist of shipments ready for export, every number, every note carefully reviewed. He knew these weren't just ordinary orders. They represented the reputation and credibility his company had built over the years. Suddenly the phone rang, breaking the silence. Alex flinched slightly and glanced at the screen. It was a call from his manager, his trusted right hand. The voice on the other end came through with a sense of duty. Alex, can you come to the office right away? I'd like you to double-check these shipments one last time before they go out. Without hesitation, Alex agreed. He quickly put on his jacket, walked out, and drove straight to the company. That morning drive felt longer than usual, with a hint of nervous anticipation. He knew that even the smallest mistake could put the international contract at risk. When he arrived at the warehouse, a busy scene greeted him. Staff were rushing about, workers were diligently loading, and each shipment was being inspected thoroughly before sealing. Alex and his manager stepped into the main area, where the consignments awaited final clearance for export. Alex carefully inspected each crate, every detail, then nodded in approval. Smiling, he praised without hesitation. "You've done a great job. Every product is neat and up to standard. I truly feel confident in the way you work." But even with his compliments deep down, Alex still carried a worry. The recent days of constant rain had seriously affected transportation. He admitted thoughtfully, "My only concern is that this time, the shipment might not be enough to meet our overseas partners' demands. They're extremely strict. Just one small mistake could cost us the contract." The manager listened closely, her eyes full of confidence. She replied firmly yet warmly, "Don't worry. I've calculated everything carefully. The shipment will be enough. Even with the bad weather, we'll still deliver on time." Her reassurance eased Alex's mind. He took a deep breath and smiled. That smile reflected not only his trust in her, but also his renewed confidence in the company's future. After finishing work at the office, Alex's thoughts immediately turned to a familiar place, Tuna's farm. A soft smile spread across his face as he started his car and headed down the long road to that peaceful countryside. The road was bathed in sunlight that day, lined with green trees swaying in the breeze, the faint scent of fields lingering in the air. Driving along, Alex thought about Henry, the boy with the innocent smile he always felt a special care for. A sudden thought crossed his mind. Henry's clothes must all be too small by now. He's growing so fast. Without hesitation, when he spotted a children's clothing store by the roadside, Alex quickly pulled over. He stepped inside, thinking simply of picking out a few new outfits for Henry. But the moment he walked through the glass door, his heart skipped a beat at the sight before him. In the corner of the store, a familiar figure was bent over browsing through clothes. The hair, the posture, the gentle gestures, Alex only needed a glance to know. He walked closer slowly, and sure enough, it was Tuna. She was carefully choosing tiny outfits for Henry, her hands tenderly turning each little shirt and pair of pants. Perhaps she had just come from the market. There was still a trace of morning busyness about her, yet her eyes shone with love. As she sensed someone approaching, Tuna turned her head. To her surprise, standing there was Alex. For a moment, their eyes locked, and Tuna froze. She softly gasped, "You! What are you doing here?" Alex smiled, his voice gentle but warm. "I came to buy clothes for Henry too. I noticed his old ones don't fit anymore." In that instant, both of them laughed, a little awkward but filled with warmth. Such a coincidence, almost as if some invisible thread had arranged it all. Maybe it was fate. After a while, the neatly folded children's clothes were packed carefully into a bag. Alex, ever the gentleman, carried it and invited Tuna to head back to the farm with him. They stepped out of the store together, the golden sunlight draping over their shoulders, creating a scene both simple and poetic. On the way back, the car rolled slowly past vast fields. The countryside stretched out before them, modest houses, white storks gliding across the blue sky, and the distant laughter of children at play. The peaceful surroundings made Alex and Tuna forget all about work and worries. Inside the car, little Henry was still fast asleep, his tiny hands clutching his mother's shirt. Tuna gently stroked her son's face, her eyes filled with maternal love. Alex glanced at the scene, and a wave of emotion rose in his chest. He realized these were the simple yet most precious moments in life. The two of them talked along the way. Alex asked about the farm, about Tuna's daily life, while she shared small details from the upcoming crops to the challenges of raising Henry. Word after word, it felt like the invisible distance between them was slowly fading. When the car finally stopped in front of the familiar wooden gate, Alex got out first and opened it for Tuna. The creak of the gate echoed softly in the quiet air, like a warm welcome from the little home. Carrying Henry in her arms, Tuna stepped inside. The boy was still fast asleep, breathing steadily, his innocent face peaceful. She gently laid him on his familiar bamboo bed and pulled a thin blanket over him. Alex stood nearby, watching Henry with eyes full of unspoken tenderness. When Tuna's gaze happened to meet his, they both broke into a smile. It was a simple smile, yet it carried so much a touch of shyness, a warmth, and a quiet hope for a brighter tomorrow. After settling Henry into bed, Alex and Tuna stepped out into the yard. In the corner, under the familiar tree, stood the old bamboo table that had witnessed so many everyday conversations. They both sat down, and the calm atmosphere made all worries seem to disappear. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, bird song echoed in the distance. Tuna adjusted her hair lightly, while Alex quietly watched her. His gaze carried words he hadn't yet found the courage to say. Suddenly, Alex leaned closer and spoke in a low, warm voice, full of anticipation. Tuna, close your eyes. I have a gift for you. Surprised, Tuna widened her eyes at him, as if to make sure she'd heard correctly. Then curiosity mixed with nervousness. She gave a small nod and slowly closed her eyes. Her long lashes trembled slightly, betraying her shyness. Alex smiled, stood up, and moved behind her. From his pocket, he took out a small but beautifully crafted hair tie that shimmered in the evening light. Gently, he lifted her long hair and carefully tied it back, his movements slow and tender, as if not to startle her, feeling something different. Na turned around. When she opened her eyes, she saw the new hair tie in place. In the glow of the sunset, it looked simple, yet elegant, perfectly highlighting her gentle beauty. Startled, Na softly exclaimed Alex. When did you buy this? Alex gave a kind smile, his eyes warm as he replied, I saw it at the shop. The moment I looked at it, I thought, it would suit you. So I bought it for you. In that moment, they simply looked at each other. No extra words, no fancy lines. Yet in their eyes, in their shy smiles, they both felt their hearts warming with a joy too deep to describe. Tuna lowered her head slightly, her cheeks suddenly flushed. And then, Alex couldn't hold back any longer. He gently leaned down and placed a soft kiss on her forehead. It was tender, unhurried, like a whisper that needed no words. For a few seconds, Tuna sat still, then lifted her eyes to him. Both of them laughed a smile full of happiness, yet touched with shyness. After that, they sat together for a long time, talking about life, about unspoken dreams, about Henry, and the hopes they carried for the future. Time passed peacefully. The afternoon sunlight slowly faded, painting the yard in golden hues before giving way to nightfall. When it grew dark, Alex stood up and quietly said goodbye. Tuna smiled and walked with him all the way to the farm gate. She stood there watching as Alex's figure gradually disappeared down the small road stretching across the fields. She lingered until he was out of sight, then let out a soft sigh and turned back inside, returning to the familiar bamboo table. Tuna placed her hand on the little gift Alex had just given her. She gazed at it for a long while, then couldn't help but smile gently. Deep inside, a voice whispered, Maybe. I've truly been moved by Alex. Maybe. It's time I gave him an answer. But Tuna knew that her answer had to come at just the right moment. She wanted to be sure her heart was ready to take another step into love. Dear friends, after everything that just happened between Alex and Na, could this be the sign that their love is finally beginning to bloom? Do you think Tuna should open her heart and give Alex an answer soon? Or does she still need more time to be certain she's ready for a new relationship? And if you were in Tuna's place, standing before Alex's sincerity and patience, what would you choose? Share your thoughts below. Because who knows, your perspective might just be the spark that guides this touching love story forward.
Rồi họ uống nó im lặng nhưng không phải là sự im lặng của đau thương, mà là sự im lặng của hai con người đã học được cách đối mặt với hai thứ và bước tiếp trong cuộc sống này. Sẽ có lúc chúng ta sẽ bị tổn thương bởi những không ngờ tới, nhưng hai thứ không có nghĩa là yếu đuối. Đó là một dạng sức mạnh và Diệp đã chọn nếu có thể bỏ qua hãy bỏ qua, bởi vì lòng vị tha luôn khiến chúng ta cao thượng hơn và nhẹ nhõm hơn.